All right, and we are live. We're just gonna start out. Let's get started, man. Look, it's late. Let's just get this rocking. Let's just get it going. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's your boy D. Fred.
Your boy B Nearly.
We back to build another episode of Absolute Insurance, episode number 108, second episode of 2022. So you know it's gonna be a special one. So if you're not subscribed already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. You can also go to SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, search up Absolutely Unsure, and you will find the podcast there for your audio listening pleasure. And if you are listening to the audio, salute to you, because I assume if you're listening to the audio, you've been a listener for a very, very long time. We really appreciate it, and we appreciate you. So, you want to get the good things?
Well, I guess I can start.
All
D
right.
Friend basically brought out the competitive nature in me again. He was like, "I'm gonna read a book a
Book a
week,"
week.
and I was like, "You know what? How can I? It's nothing wrong with reading a chapter a day. Like, come on, a chapter a day, bro. You can't do that." And I was
That's
like, "Bro,
light. That's
I,
too
I
easy.
put the competitive drive in, and shit, I'm almost done with this illusion of money book, which is it's okay once I get through the whole thing. It is some pretty good points in there, but it's more like a refresher to me because it's like stuff I've already kind of like studied before.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, it's good. I finished the book that I was reading, the principles or whatever, and I'm reading that Yes book. So I'm about halfway through with that book. I believe by the end of this week I'll be done with that, and then I'll move on to something. I'll just randomly probably pick something because like this book I read right now is a sales book. You know, maybe I don't want to read a sales book. Maybe I want to read somebody's biography, or maybe I want to read another type of self help book. But we'll see once I get there. But I think a book a week, depending on how big it is, right? If it's 200 pages, like if it's about 200 pages and below, a week you can knock that out. But if it's like
A little
400
over a week. It's
pages,
still a week.
if 400 pages, maybe a week and a half. That's 400 pages. That's a lot. That's a big book. No, salute to Vicky. That's a good thing. She's here on time. Now, Vicky, I don't know if you under the influence like you were last time, but you know we ain't on the date connection this week. But my good thing is, you know, today I went to the doctor and saw my beautiful daughter, and everything's looking good. Everything's looking great. We are on the countdown to adding another child to the family. So, you know, everything's all good in that department. That's always a good thing when something like that pops up. And what's that? Oh,
My
that you showed me
schedule.
something. Oh,
No,
that
my
you showed me
schedule. I was
something.
trying to make sure she gave me the day off.
Oh, is it, was supposed to work today?
No, no, I'm talking
Uh,
about the 15th. I
oh,
never got to double check it, but I had requested it.
but yeah, that's my good thing for this week. So now I'm good tonight, LMAO. So I don't know what you want to get into first. There's a couple like two. To me, there's two like really like keynote topics that we can really discuss. 'Cause I feel like they draw out more conversation, and that will be the Antonio Brown debacle, and obviously the Fresh and Fit thing that went viral over social media. I kind of want to get to the Antonio Brown thing because he just released a statement about it himself, and it's pretty interesting to me that I really want to know what people are saying about this. So if you didn't know, Antonio Brown walked off the field, right? It looked wild. It looked crazy. We never see like a player just leaving the field, right? Take off the jersey, throw up the deuce sign in the end zone while in the middle of a game. Like, what's going on? This guy's got to be off his rocker. And of course, everybody goes straight to, you know, CTE. He's doing this. He's doing that. Something's wrong with him. Something's wrong with him. Pray for him. All these things are there, right? So the first, I won't say conspiracy theory because that's another. The first narrative that was created of his reasoning to why it was because salute to you, Vicky. I'm definitely gonna buy some diapers on you. Salute to you. But the first reason why was because of money, right? This guy broke down this thing like if he gets 11 more catches, he unlocks a $300,000 bonus. If he gets 2 more touchdowns, another bonus. If he gets 200 more yards, another three. Like pretty much equaling up to about $1.2 million in money that he is potentially missing. So the original narrative was that he was angry because he wasn't getting put in the game to, you know, get this money. That was the original narrative that was going around the internet, right? So then it came out that he was injured and didn't want to play because of injury. Now, I like that narrative because I like to see if people keep the same energy. Because whenever Simone Biles was in the Olympics, everybody was, oh, praise, you know, say, oh my God, protect their mental health, this and that. And this is a situation I want to see if people keep the same energy. Now, I haven't looked at any of the major, you know, sport networks. I ain't watched Skip Bayless. I ain't really seen Stephen A. talk about. So I don't know if they kept the same energy or not. But that's interesting, right? And you've seen all this too, right? All this
Yeah,
information.
yeah.
Okay. So do you want me to read his statement, or you just want to?
Now you can read the statement.
All right, it's a little lengthy, so let's just get into, because to me it's like it's kind of like damning to me. So, first of all, I'd like to express my gratitude to the Bucks fans and my teammates. The Bucks helped me return to productive football after I had difficulties that could have ended my career. We worked together to resolve these difficulties, and I will always appreciate that. Being a part of a Super Bowl champion team and then a contender is a dream come true. I make mistakes, I'm working on myself, and I have positive influence around me. But one thing I do not shy away from, playing hard on the field. No one can accuse me of not giving it my all every play. Because of my commitment to the game, I relented to pressure directly from my coach to play injured. Despite the pain, I suited up. The staff injected me with what I now know was a powerful and sometimes dangerous painkiller that the NFLPA has warned against using. And I gave it my all for my team. I played until it was clear that I could not use my ankle to safely perform any playing responsibilities. On top of that, the pain was extreme. I took a seat on the sideline, and my coach came up to me very upset and shouted, "What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?" I told him it's my ankle. But he knew that. It was well documented, and we had discussed it. He then ordered me to get on the field. I said, "Coach, I can't." He didn't call for medical attention. Instead, he shouted at me, "You're done," while he ran his finger across his throat. Coach was telling me that if I didn't play hurt, then I was done with the Bucks. I didn't quit. I was cut, didn't walk away from my brothers. I was thrown out. Being fired on the sideline for having a painful injury was bad enough. Then came their spin. Coach denied on national television that he knew about my ankle. That's 100% inaccurate. Not only did he know I missed several games with injury, he and I exchanged texts days before the game where he clearly acknowledged my injury. He obviously knew I was on the injury list, and the GM acknowledged after the game in text message to my camp that I didn't tell Coach about my ankle pain on Sunday. So it's another like long ass and I'm gonna be here for fucking 30 minutes reading the whole thing. But that's the part that like jumped out to me. That's the part that shocked me.
Well,
that's the part I feel like should be an investigation.
What's interesting is that they kept him on the team. So the fact they kept him on the team, something like that would make sense because they know that they could be liable if they kicked him off because of injury or something like that, or they tried to force him on the team, and then all of the hoopla happened because they were trying to make him play over injury, and they know that he was injured, and I could see why they didn't cut him so fast. So that may make sense, to be honest. Like, okay.
Well, no, they did cut him. He's not a part of the team no more.
No, he's still on the team.
Oh, he's still on the team?
He's still on the team.
Oh.
Bruce Arians said he said he was no longer a part of the team, but the next day a bunch of different things came out saying that he's not officially cut yet.
Oh, okay, because you can't cut. How can you like ethically cut somebody for being injured? Like ethically, how could you in a league that is ravaged with injury every year? And then people say, well, people play injured all the time. They play through it. They do whatever. But if I really can't, that's why they be fucked up when they get retired. That's why they be having 25 hip surgeries, 29 knee replacements. Yeah. Shit, we didn't even got to talk about CTE.
And it's still by choice. And if they choose not to play, that's still their choice. Like, they could do either way. But, like, you can't just get mad because they don't want to play. Like, yeah, it's clearly, like, crazy.
I feel like it should be investigated, honestly. I ain't going to lie to you. If a player is telling you, hey, bro, I'm fucked up, I don't want to play, and the coach is threatening to cut you, I think that should be investigated. Because I investigate everything else.
I think he'd get fired, but I think they wouldn't do the investigation till the season over.
Well, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Let him win the Super. Let him try to win the Super Bowl. That's fine. That's all good, right? But I think it should be looked into because I don't think that's right.
Yeah.
Like, because for the coach that he didn't know, but he was on the questionable list all week. It's kind of like you're the coach. Now, I don't know if Antonio Brown is still the Antonio Brown of Pittsburgh Steelers, but Antonio Brown is still Antonio Brown. So I would think you would know if he was questionable. You know?
Nah, they know. I'm pretty sure Antonio Brown wouldn't put himself, back himself in the corner like that, saying he got like that much evidence and then don't have it.
Yeah.
Like it'll be stupid for him to be like, I got text messages because people gonna ask for proof.
Yeah.
Like, so it's hard for me not to believe that he don't have proof because it's just he'll have to be damn near stupid to do that.
I think the thing that's going for Bruce Arians is that he's had so much controversy. And I said this when I talked about it. He has so much controversy in his past. Some people might not even give a fuck if he got evidence. They was like, I don't give a fuck. Fuck him.
What kind of controversy?
Like, the shit with the Steelers where he was filming shit and he was getting to a
You
juju.
talking about?
They,
You said Bruce Arians. You mean
no, I'm
Antonio
talking
Brown?
about. I'm saying they wouldn't care about what Bruce Arians did because Antonio Brown had so much controversy in his past. So they'd just be like, well, yeah, that's just something that Antonio Brown will probably do. That's his character. That's his whatever. Because the NFL is like the boys' club. Like you can be a player, make a couple mistakes, they never want to pick you up again.
Yeah,
Coaches go to teams, they go 0-12. They get picked up as a defensive coordinator the next year and keep their career rocking.
yeah.
So it's like, they don't really
It's
fuck
easy
with the
for them
players
to
like
sweep
that.
him under the rug.
Yeah. And like I said, especially a guy like that who the media could just be like, oh, same old Antonio doing the same thing he always does, going to a situation and blowing it up. Look at him. He's a clown. It's easy. And they probably know that. They probably know, like, well, that's Antonio. We can do that to him.
To me, like, so we can't even really get mad at how he like stormed off the field because, like I said, you can't get mad at how somebody react. Like when you treat somebody like that, they can react in a certain way. Obviously,
Yeah.
it wouldn't. It ain't in the best interest, and it's kind of weird that he was jumping up and down on his ankle like that is a legit thing you could question. But um, I mean, why wouldn't he play if he wasn't hurt?
Yeah.
Like, what would be the other reason for him not wanting to play?
I don't know. But it's good. It's going to unfold. Somebody's going to leak something. Like if he's coming his text messages, the Buccaneers don't want bad press. If it really gets to that point where bad press is being rolled out, they'll release something or he'll release something. The truth eventually, I assume, will be revealed, or they'll have a meeting at the facilities coming up and like, hey, this is what we're going to do. We got playoffs coming. We don't really need further distractions. We're sorry. Let's do this. Let's move forward. If you really hurt, you don't got to play. Whatever the fuck they're going to do. I don't know. It's probably going to happen behind closed doors, though.
Yeah, it's too close to playoffs, and ain't nobody trying to. Tom Brady need every year count for him, so I know he's not trying to have too much dysfunction going on.
Yeah, Tom Brady don't got time for shit like that. He's like, um, I got shit to do. I'm trying to win another chip. Like, what's his number 8 if he wins again or something like that? It's like 8 championship.
7 or 8.
I don't got time. Not you suspicious. I don't know what you mean. I don't get it. I hate reading comments sometimes because I'll be under because it'd be like I don't know what you just listen. I wish you could tell like this what I just listened to and then this what I said because I don't be really because we talk so much. I don't know what part of the video people be at sometimes. But anyways, yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it. I was just interested in that whole dynamic. When I read it, like, hey, I was really injured, and he told me you're done, and this and that. I'm like, it's kind of, it's a kind of shitty thing to do for a person who's actually injured and can't perform. Because if he goes out there and breaks his ankle, and then say that ankle is never able to play again, is Bruce Arians gonna, play? I mean, is Bruce Arians gonna give him money, for his family for the next however many years he potentially could have played in the NFL? No, he's gonna draft a wide receiver and keep it moving.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem people looking out for themselves. If you really fucked up and you can't play, think about yourself because we already see how they just throw players to the wayside like it's nothing. Like we see players all the time have a great year. Next year you never hear from them again because maybe something happened in the locker room or this or that. And look at Cam Newton. Cam Newton was that guy who went to New England. He got cut from New England. Cam Newton could have found a job. You can't tell me Cam Newton's not better than some of the quarterbacks in the NFL.
I don't know, man. He had some bad. When he came back for the Panthers, he ain't look great.
But I'm sure there's other people that he's better than. And my point is like even as a backup,
Hard to
like
say that
I'm talking about because they signed these same backups. You can't tell me Cam Newton's not better than some of these backups.
Nah, I see what you're saying, but his last showing, bro, it's hard to say that.
I think he's still like maybe not a starter, but he's still better than backups. That's my point. He's better than backups. Like they'll give all these other guys a shot, but they won't give him a shot.
Cam Newton brand and like his character is so loud, it caused extra like media stuff that go on, so he can't really just be a normal backup like that.
Fuck it, figure it out, motherfucker. I want to play. I want to be on the squad.
Shit, I mean, I think that's more of the Cam Newton to be like, hey man, I'm humble. I don't mind sitting behind him. If I get a shot, bro, I want to be that dude. I don't know if Cam got that in him.
I don't know, possibly, potentially, maybe. I mean, he playing, right? He playing for the Panthers. Is he starting for the Panthers?
He was.
This is something I wanted to discuss too. It's still about football, but it was interesting to me. I saw. So I guess I don't really been following football too much this year. I ain't really been like, oh, I'm big on football. But people are saying that Aaron Rodgers is pretty much the MVP of the NFL this year, right? They're saying he's got the best team. He's the best player on the best team. He's doing great. And it seems like because of his, status and his stance on, the jab, that people are saying that they're going to forego voting for him for that situation, which to me is stupid because like, bro, this is sports. It's like we ain't got shit to do with personal beliefs and all that shit. That's why it was so weird to me whenever they was like holding T.O. out of the Hall of Fame. It was like, bro, side shit aside, let's talk about what happened on the field. On the field, T.O. should have been first ballot Hall of Fame, no question. Like,
Yeah,
T.O. It's T.O.
they making it seem like he was a criminal or some shit, like
Yeah.
a 8-time convicted criminal or some shit. Like he ain't did nothing wrong.
Like for Aaron Rodgers, I seen a clip going around where he was responding to a reporter from Chicago. I guess because local beat reporters of each city or something, they vote for the MVP. And he said, "I'm not going to vote for Aaron Rodgers because he's the biggest jerk in the NFL, and he's been saying this like since the offseason." How are you already in the offseason saying you're not going to vote for somebody? Like, you shouldn't be allowed to be in this voting process.
Yeah.
If you already from the game, we haven't even played a game yet. And you're like, well, he's definitely not getting my vote. You should have no voting power at all after that statement. And he said, well, we should just add a letter to it if we're going to say, if it's not going to be who's the MVP, who's the actual MVP, we're going to say who's the most valuable vaccinated player, then we can do the MVVP if we're going to do it like that. And I was like, that's pretty, that's a good – I like people standing up for themselves. So that's what Aaron Rodgers did in that situation.
I like the Chad Johnson approach when he kind of say, bro, I don't care about none of they like Hall of Fame or trophies. Like, I know I was the best. Yeah, I mean, that's the truth because, like, at the end of the day, sometimes it be clowns voting, bro.
There people holding vendettas and grudges and all that. Like, bitch, we talking about football. We ain't talking about. I don't give a fuck if you like Chad Johnson signing shit with Sharpies or T.O. doing the popcorn in the middle of the day. When he was on the field, what does his numbers look like?
Yeah.
He's top 3 in numbers. How is he not first ballot Hall of Fame? Doesn't make any sense.
And it'd be so crazy to me because it really be like, it don't even be popular opinion. Like, popular opinion, like, everybody loved T.O. But it just, for some reason, media just kept trying to push this hate towards him. Like, it don't even be pop. Like, Ricky Williams was loved. Like, I'm trying to think of people that kind of was, like, demonified. Like, when the media just kept pushing, it's like, bro, we don't, like, AI was kind of demonified, you could say. Like, nobody, like, felt it on the other side, though. It's just so weird, bro. They be super biased. So
because they work for the NFL. Like, the NFL wants to keep it a certain way. NFL doesn't want players to be bigger than the league. They want you to stay within your little thing. They don't even want you to be being bigger than the league. They don't want you to be bigger than the team. They want you to be like just a player, a part of this subsection. And if you kind of deviate from that, that's when they start to vilify you. That's unless you're like a quarterback. If you're a quarterback, they kind of may let you rock because, like, he's a quarterback. We gotta let him rock. But that's how they
select few that. I mean, you gotta basically be like showing the shield, like you displaying good behavior. So like you're not like messing over the shield name like a Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. Like you gotta be like loved by them for them to be like, yeah, we'll push you. But if you got like a bad image or some shit like that ain't really on their side, yeah, they ain't about to push you to be no big star.
Especially if you're not a quarterback. If you a wide receiver, especially if you're a running back, they'll fry you. They don't give a damn. They'll recycle running backs like it's not like we'll find somebody else who can run the ball. Even if you could have rushed 2,000 yards last season. If you're a little too boisterous, if you're a little bit of a distraction, we'll find a way to make you not play.
Yeah.
And if you play, it'll be very minimal.
Another example of like the media pushing shit, like the fans never really complain celebrations.
Like, yeah, why is that taking out the game?
Like
we like that shit.
Always love that shit, but for some reason they keep pushing it like that's not a part of the game. Bro, only people that think that it's like these super old heads that's like don't have no passion.
Just like, crying about shit, just whining and crying.
I don't know, man. Well, yeah, it's a lot of things about sports that you could be like, I don't like. I was noticing that about basketball too. Like with certain people, that was like, why is Dwight Howard not starting? Like it's certain once you get like a certain like story told about you, bro. Like teams literally like won't even take you serious, even though you may have the talent to like be a starter or be like a main focal point of the team. They just like, nope, this is your story. We keeping you right there. Like, and it's so weird to me, bro. It's so weird. You do the same thing in football.
That's how it be, man. So let's get to the other big story.
Like my bad, for example, like Melo. Like I know I'm just thinking of people just like Melo. He is a superstar player. Then he went to like maybe a little less than all-star level. Then all of a sudden he can't be in the league for 2 years. Like that should be weird. Like how they can flip the narrative on you so quick, bro. Like, well, yeah, that's all I was saying.
Yeah. But let's go to the other story that's taking over social media. and it's your guys, Fresh and Fit. They are back in the headlines again, and this time it is for being anti-black women.
So
Right?
did they say something they directly?
Well, you didn't hear what they said?
Uh-uh.
Let me find it for you. I'm gonna play the clip. This is this is what they said.
I
This
know
is
we
like
was joking about it on the boat. Like when they was on the boat, we was like, "Ain't no black girls on the boat."
Oh no, I wouldn't even. It's crazy that we talked about that and then this situation happened. So this is the things they talked about.
And your personal preferences.
Oh no, that's not it. That's just my personal preferences. Where's the video about? Here it is.
They're racist. That's hilarious.
What about the black dating app called Black?
So if y'all know, so I guess they're reading super chats or they're reading their things like they do. And someone asked them, "Do y'all use the dating app Black?" Right. So this is their response to that. Oh shit.
What about the black dating app called Black? Oh, it's funny. I never used that one, bro. But hey, man. I mean, hey, bro. If you want to date a bunch of Shaniquas, go for it, man. LaQuisha. Yeah, like me and Fresh aren't really down with the brown like that. Man. We ain't night riders. Nah, so bro, I'm good. Sometimes if they're Redbone, but like in general, me and Fresh don't dabble in the dark. If you know what I'm saying. Yep. Okay. So last one, guys.
I mean, who cares about their person?
Which are traits of feminine women? What's her gram? What's your Instagram?
Dude,
you
got
like
a lot of love today.
Yeah, baby. That's crazy.
I ain't gonna lie, just keeping it real. I don't really date black girls. It's not because like most black girls are like annoying. How to put this? Ratchet, and they don't know how to like be reserved. You're like the complete opposite.
You are not the stereotype. You are not the stereotype.
You are not the same. That's
So,
all.
yeah.
I think people keep getting sucked into that preferencing. I don't think it's people don't give a fuck they don't date black girls. It's a way to describe the black girls. That's what people don't like. That's the problem. Like people, nobody looks at Fresh and Fit and be like, "Oh yeah, they definitely like." Come on, I don't think they did either. But it's the way you describe it that people don't fuck with. And they said the same. Like, what's wrong with me having my preference? No, there's nothing wrong. You can date white girls, Chinese, Asian, Latino, whatever. People just don't like the stereotypical way in which you describe and paint the picture of black women. Right? I think that's the issue that people took with it. Not that people like if they just said, "What do you think about dating that black?" and they'll say, I don't really have a taste for black women. I rather I have a taste for Latinas or whatever. Nobody would give a fuck. It wouldn't went viral. It wouldn't have did nothing. It would just been like whatever. But the fact that they kind of went with the stereotypical Bonquisha, Shaquita, da. I'm not a night rider. I don't dabble in the dark. That's people like, what the fuck? That sounds like some shit white boys say when they sitting in they fucking, they sitting together like, oh my God, did you see? I'll never be with Bonquisha and Shaquita. And that's what it sounds like. I don't think it's
people were saying that they heard that they feel like black women never want them, so they project that they don't want them either. But who cares? Like to me, their opinion on like who's attractive, like I don't care through them. Like that's not something I ever listen to them for. So I don't know. People, I ain't gonna say people are sensitive, but I really don't think people really care what they think. Like people didn't care.
I think people just see them have a platform. It's viral for the moment, so people that's pretty much how everything is. It's viral because the initial thing from this was Asian Doll went on a show. Her and this girl were having like a side conversation. Myron did this thing like, "Hey, can y'all please be quiet? No side conversation." Which I understand it. Like if you have a show, you got other people talking while somebody else talking. Like it's kind of distracting the show. I don't have a problem with that. And then Asian Doll just said, "You mean?" And then he got kind of the way he, how you watch the show before you say he gets fucking real, like serious and whatever the fuck. That happened, a little back and forth. He said you could leave. Some nigga in the side was like, she ain't going nowhere. I don't know who the guy on the side was. I don't know if it was a boyfriend, a homeboy, somebody. And then she ended up leaving on her own. And then that clip went viral because Asian Doll is like in the whole. And I don't know if I said this on the podcast with you or I said this on a podcast by myself. I said once they get introduced to like mainstream black blog Instagram shit, they're gonna. Y'all thought they tried to crucify Kevin Samuels. They're gonna crucify these niggas when they get a hold of them.
I mean, I think they always had like a good amount of hate towards their channel, so I don't really think it's gonna be nothing.
But they was like, it was always like, I feel like when you get a lot of hate from like YouTube, it's like underground shit. When you get like to them massive pages with 20, 25 million followers, that's like a different level. But I don't think it's gonna affect them in any way.
That's what
because their audience doesn't. Those people weren't watching them anyways, so it doesn't really make a lot of people probably whoever was on these Shade Room comments, they just discovered them. it's not gonna affect them like when they got into beef with Auburn Preach or when they got into a beef with Playback, where they kind of commingle audiences across the spectrum, and they feel like, oh, you slided Auburn Preach, but I follow both y'all, but I fuck with them more, so I'm gonna follow you because I fuck with them. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Unless YouTube like takes their channel down, I don't really think they're gonna really lose too much of a following.
Yeah, I don't think
But
they're
I
gonna lose nobody at
want
all.
the reply to saying that, like, what somebody said, what they said is racist. Like, I don't know if it's racist because, like, for me, like, our community talk about why we shouldn't date white people, like, and we have different like connotations or stereotypes on why we shouldn't do that. So I
People
mean,
just want to
we not racist for having them stereotypes or those ideas about not dating a certain race or people. But I don't know. Like, I think it's like it's ultra not being sensitive because it's like y'all wouldn't even date them. So like, who cares what they think? Like,
that's I said that was like I don't care about people's preferences because a lot of times when people come with these preferences where it's like a black guy said I wouldn't date black women, like if you're not a black woman who's getting in line to want to date him, then it doesn't really matter because you wasn't gonna date this thing anyways, right?
yeah.
That's kind of what Joe Budden said. I was surprised that Joe
It's
Budden even said anything about it,
it's
but it
plenty of
seemed like
people
the
on my bad.
oh my bad. Because how you said it was the Joe Budden shit. Well, actually, before I get there, I want you to finish whatever point you was about to make.
Well, I was gonna say it's on both sides. Like black people, like black men saying they don't want to date black women. Then you got it's certain type of black men that say that. It's not the mass consensus by any means. But just like on the other side, it's not the mass consensus of black women. But you do get them black women that say you can't date a black man, get you a white man, and like that's been a thing. Like it's literally channels of women constantly preaching that. Like we were just talking about somebody recently that has the channel like basically based on only dating white men or not dating black men. Like nobody's really going to talk about cancer on their channel, and I mean, like, I don't care because I would never want to date the women anyway. They
Yeah,
probably have bad weed, don't comb their hair. We all, like, I even have a stereotype for the type of women that date white men. They'll be the ones that don't know how to take care of their hair. Like they always have bad weave, everything. Like it's a stereotype, but it's funny. Like, but it's real. It's a real thing. So it's both sides to me, and yeah, like I said, I don't really get too bothered by it. Like,
yeah. That's why, like, when I saw I was surprised when
and
Joe
it's plenty.
Budden
My
made.
bad.
Yeah,
It's
you good.
plenty of shaming that goes on into it too. Where like black women talking about not dating black men, it ain't just like, oh, I don't date them because it's not my preference. They be like, they ain't shit. They bums. They broke, no ambition. So they be saying foul shit, just like how you would say that they said foul shit. So my bad, bro.
No, you good. That's why I was just surprised when I seen Joe Budden chime in on it because I would. It's not something typically I would see because especially like they're not like I don't want to say they're not mainstream, but they're not mainstream. I don't know how to explain. Like they're big, but they're not mainstream. I feel like Kevin Samuels is now mainstream. I feel like they're like on the cusp of mainstream, right? So I was surprised when he spoke on it, especially when like, yeah, that clip went viral, but and I don't know, I don't want to say Kevin Samuels said like things similar to that about black women, but Kevin Samuels says like shit like you know like he says certain things that people can misconstrue as like he hates black women, but you like welcomed him on your show, you had a whole dialogue with him. But I feel like these guys, like I said, like you can look at Kevin Samuels talk, you kind of like I can feel like it's like they respect the message. Like I can see a nigga like this talking like that. But with them,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, look at these. Who the fuck is these guys? That's how it is. That's how I feel like Joe Budden looked at the difference between
And
Kevin Samuels and a fresher
have a
fit.
more Kevin Samuels have a more practical approach on how he deals with people. Yeah, he may get on the line every once in a while, but he not talking about like, for instance, I just heard one of the things is like if she's talking about not wanting to have sex, get on the phone with a girl while she's there, or pretend to get on the
That
phone
shit
with
was
a
wild.
girl.
I ain't gonna lie.
Like,
That shit sounded
that's
wild to me.
yeah, that's some lame shit. But that's
That
not
shit sounded wild.
yeah. You don't see Kevin Samuels talking about that. And for my thing about the stereotype of like black women being a certain like way, I mean, I'm not gonna sit up and say all black women are like that because there's plenty of black women that's not. But let's be real, it's a good majority of black women that do have ill mannered or sometimes display lack of class. Like I said,
But
it's
see, I
not
don't like that. I
all.
don't like that word a good majority because that would mean you would say that's more than 50% of them,
Um,
or at least when you say
I
you
don't.
say at least 70%. I don't. I
I
just don't.
can't give.
I
I
don't
don't
believe
know a
that to be.
I don't know a percentage. I wouldn't. I couldn't give a percentage. I wouldn't say 50-50. I wouldn't. I'm just saying it's a lot. So like 30, maybe 30% out of 70. Like, but it's and then often those are the ones that get seen the most, like the ones that's
Yeah.
out loud and stuff like that. So Now, I'm not gonna say it's a. I'm not saying all. I'm not when I say a good majority. I'm saying like it's not like 1% or 2%. Like
Yeah,
it's
no,
a
no,
good
I don't think
proportion of people.
any stereotype, like stereotypes, there are people that fit those stereotypes, right? And those stereotypes don't just get pulled out of thin air. We know it's people that act wild crazy, right? But I would never say like, because to me with that clip of them talking to that black girl, like, oh, you're a good one. That to me is no different than like me being in a room full of white boys and they're like, well, not me, because they would look at me probably think I'm black. Just say you, right? Oh, you're very well spoken. You're not one of those game bangers. You don't have a flag hanging out your back pocket, do you?
Yeah, I see.
Like that. It's like that type. She's like, that's
So
not a
what?
compliment. It's not really a
So
compliment.
more what I preface into is like when I not even ill mannered, but like that having that feminist in them, and then like when it comes to relationships, more like they can act civilized in public, they can act civilized with their friends and things like that. But when it comes to relationships, they don't know how to function and deal well in relationships, and those end up being a good majority because when we talk about like how many women are single or baby moms and stuff like that, it shows like failed relationship, whether whoever fault it was. I mean, take two to tango for the majority of people that end up in those type of relationships. So that's what I would refer to. It's not like these people are bad people or like ain't shit or whatever. I'm just saying more on the sense of relationships, and that's what technically Kevin Samuel deal with relationships, and that's technically what um, they also deal with. So when they talk about relationships, they're like, oh, I'm not likely to deal with them because, I mean, most women that's in the black mindset go with the independent mindset, and you can say that's a good. Now, when I say a good majority, now I'm saying like a back like 75%. When they say the independent chick and don't need a man, it's a lot of them like that. So that also leads to not having good long-term relationships in a sense like that because like that mindset just don't function well. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what I think Kevin Samuels talk about when he talk about women kind of all being the same or black women kind of all being the same because they basically been programmed with their mindset. But yeah,
Okay. I mean, that's like I feel like now that they've been put on this on the radar of like black Instagram media as far as like Shade Room, 20 million followers. I feel like now more people are going to be watching them closely. So I wouldn't be surprised if. I mean, it's good for them too because like there's going to be people that's like you got to think about it, right? If Shade Room posts you or Neighborhood Talk, whatever any of these big major blogs post you, and that video gets 1 million views, if you could get at least 20,000 people to be like, I mean, I kind of agree. I like the, whatever they're saying how they want. Like people who say how they feel. They don't really care. They have no filter. People like that shit. So even though there may be like, let's say, out of 100,000, 80,000 people talking shit, if you can kind of get 20,000 people come fuck with you, like getting posted about isn't always a bad thing, right? You may think it is, but not all the time. Especially when I say all the time, as long as it is not your base that's killing you. If it's people who don't even watch you, never watched you to begin with, it doesn't really fucking matter.
yeah,
Like I said, people in the Shade Room comments weren't watching Fresh and Fit anyways. So they're just like, it's free promo. And now Joe Budden is talking about him. That's extra. Like one of the biggest podcasts in, the space. Like he's talking about me now. It's just more promo. And you know what people are going to do? They're going to go watch those guys. And I don't really care if niggas watch. Like I can say I think some of the shit they do is corny, but I can't judge people for watching niggas. Like I watch certain people that people are like, why the fuck you watch him? He's racist. He did. Like if I say I watch Ben Shapiro, people be like, what the fuck you watching him for? He's da 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 da. Shit like that. It's like, hey, motherfucker, people watch what the fuck they want to watch.
yeah.
That's how it
I
goes.
wouldn't like I said. I don't think like them. Like even with the negative percentages of black women wanting to be in the ones that file for divorce and being an independent mindset, I still keep trying because I mean I like black women more than any other women. So I understand those facts and things out there, but there's also ideas about being your best version of self, which naturally make women want to submit to you sometimes. So as long as you find the right one, it's not gonna be everyone. There's also like you understanding who you are, you also can see how people like bullshit through people. You see red flags and shit because I mean through experience and whatnot, and through learning. So that also be more of a thing. So because you can know the red flags.
You
like,
good? You back? You
but,
flicked out for a second.
yeah, so I think that's the stuff that keep me like going because you can like the people that you don't want to date. Like I said, those are the ones that wear bonnets. Those are the ones that you can clearly see. Like, nah,
Yeah.
that's not my type. Like it's easier and easier to see now.
Yeah, it was just that shit kind of went for a loop through the day, and I saw a lot of people discussing it, and I was like, it felt like every month, you know. And like I said, for media, it's great. That like for media, people don't understand. For media, it is great to be polarizing. You want it to be either you hate me or you love me. I just want to make you feel something.
Yeah.
If I don't make you feel shit, I'm not doing my. So if you polarizing, you're gonna be good. Because you're gonna have half hate you, probably half. No, you gotta be half. Fuck, you don't gotta be half. Because a lot of people just hate watch shit. And as long as you watch it, I'm still getting AdSense. You're probably commenting, talking shit. That's fine. Just keep watching, and they gonna keep making money. They gonna be all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's a great way to start off the year. Like, okay, usually you got to kind of build up the pace. Saying into the year, get you a couple of viral moments. We off the bat January 3rd. Shit, we got posted on Shade Room. We got millions of views. Hey, that's a good for them. That might be a good way for them to start their year. Salute to Vicky. I would love whoever I was meant to be with, no matter the color of their skin. I mean, if you're open, that's good for you. But like I said, I don't really give a fuck if people got preferences. I just care when people like shit on the person that's not their preference. That goes for guys and girls. If you say I want a guy that's 6'3",
who cares?
no, it's like what the fuck? It's like you don't have to
cares?
care. Still, to me, distasteful. Like when a woman says I don't like, I want a 6'3" nigga, and they just get the shit on it. It's like, bitch, why you doing all that? Ain't nobody you have to do all that, bitch. What the fuck you doing that for?
Who cares?
Who cares? Shut the fuck up, nigga. I care.
Like,
Who is this?
man, I don't criticize and condemn you for caring. I'm just saying in my eyes, like just how you just said you don't want a certain type of people, bro. You just put a flag on you where, all right, well, you're not attracted to me either. Like I don't care, bro. Like when women be like, oh, I don't want a man that can't make over this amount. All right, cool. That means I shouldn't be
That
trying to
nigga said,
talk to
well,
you.
that's not me.
Yeah, so I think you helping me figure out what I should not be looking for. Like, but thank you for making it easier.
Women who do that I don't know if it's just an insecurity. Just are you talking about the fact like shitting on the person? Like, is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about women who have certain, that's what I'm asking Vicky. But yeah, there was that. So what else we got? It was only 37 minutes. We've been here for a long ass time already. Shit. So I got a couple things on the list still. I don't really know too much about this Stormy Wellington thing, but if you wanted to kind of, break down maybe you didn't want to get into that conversation directly, but that conversation led you to another conversation. We can get into that if you wanted to kind of break down your thought process on that.
Well, I don't know if y'all know who Stormy Wellington is, but her story is actually pretty amazing. She worked with what's his name, Cardone, Mr. Cardone, forgot his name.
Great
But
Cardone.
she make like already made like 7 million or something like that, and she's
I saw
like a
60 million.
oh yeah, yes. I thought I was tripping, but yeah, something crazy. And it's through like being like that life coach and stuff like that. But she's one of the ones that's kind of like the stereotypical black woman when they say loud, aggressive, crass in the sense of just cussing and like very like vulgar mouth. And her daughter was basically helping her with this or whatever, like and was a part of her show. And she had a bunch of other people that she helped get rich, and they got into it. Like so, a bunch of just drama shit that I mean, I usually don't tend to get into or care about, but it was the fact that how she started to like go at her daughter and like was going crazy and talking all type of shit, like the statement that all parents or black parents end up saying, like respect thy mother and thy father or
Honor thy
whatever.
mother, honor thy father.
Yeah. But then there's another statement that I seen somebody say in the comments. It was like, "Well, don't bring on the wrath." It's in the Bible it say, "Don't bring on the wrath of your child," and that's something that's never really talked about. But she basically was just cussing her out, kicked her out, and stuff like that. And it just showed how sometimes them single parent households can be very toxic. And I know from firsthand like the mother and daughter relationship without a father being there or a male present being there can get kind of toxic because it's just a lot of emotions, and it's one of the things that's not really talked about in our community at all. But it's the same thing with it's a young black man or a young black boy in a household with a single mama. Like she bring home that been at work all day, bullshit, like tired of the fucking world, and then she basically put that on you when the dishes ain't clean. She lash out more than she probably would have if she was like everything was going right, bills may be late, car breaking down, the shit that life like
Yeah,
when we
life
grow
shit.
up, we know how this shit hit. Like
Yeah.
always some shit, and now you got two or three, sometimes four shit. We know how so like some kids, there's some women that we know got like 5 kids before they even like 30.
25.
Yeah,
Shit.
25. So it's like you know how stressful that could be. Like no matter how much the government assistance and shit like that, but it's just more to that how important it is to be like to have a functioning household and a man in the house because it helps alleviate that stress and it goes to that independent conversation that we was kind of just talking about. That shit should not be glorified because it's like um, somebody was just talking about it, but no one really makes it independent. Oh, it was Will Smith and Uncle Phil. He was like, "I'm not a man unless I can do it on my own." And Uncle Phil basically like kind of laughed. It was like, "Who told you that bullshit?" Like, no matter who made it, like you always need some help. So that independent shit, like that's some fear, like mindsets type stuff, and it ended up leading to so many different broken homes or difficult parenting relationships. So I just was it was interesting that it was like out in public, but like everybody was taking the mom side. Nobody took the daughter side. They was all saying like she was fucked up. She shouldn't have choose the side of her mom friends. And the girl was like, I really wasn't even doing that. A lot of shit just happened fast, and she ain't even trying to hear me
I
out.
see
You
pretty
know
much
that.
she was like I was just out. Like we went to dinner and I got a text or a call that said like, don't drive my cars, don't come back to my house. It's kind of like, especially me as a parent, like I couldn't imagine. Like, okay, let's say me and you, we're friends, right? And we have business dealings, and say you cool with my kids or whatever, and oh, that's Uncle Bryce, whatever. Yeah, y'all go out to eat with you and like some other people. Like there's other, just people that y'all know each other. Yeah, everybody grew up together. Like it's a typical thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I look at my kids and be like, oh, they fucking with the ops. Like that's your kids. That's not like I think possibly for her, maybe I'm just like trying to shoot her some type of maybe she's been fucked over by people close to her so much in the business world that she's not even looking at her kids like kids. She's looking at them like people she helped. Like she's not even looking at them like her children at this point. She's looking at them just as people she helped, and now she's seeing that y'all fucking with motherfuckers, other people I helped, but they also fucked me over. So now y'all in cahoots. Like that's the only type of the mentality might be that way, but I'm not saying that's an acceptable mentality to have, especially towards your children. But if
Yeah.
that's the way she's thinking it, then I mean, I can understand that way of thinking. I just don't think that that's something that I would personally uh, do.
And then it's like the fact of like you know how our parents really don't listen to kids like nothing that you say could really be logical.
Shit,
And
even
it's
as an
just
adult, nothing I say could be. I tell mama shit all the time. She'd be like, "No, that's not right." I was like, "I
yep,
mean, I'm just telling
yep,
you what the fuck it
yep.
is.
My
I'm
mama
just
been trying to
telling
get on
you."
my ass because I tried to tell her who Joe Biden really was. And she swore up and down. I ain't know what I was talking about. And
I
so
think maybe it's
many
just a
other
parent thing.
topics.
I don't know. Maybe I'll experience that as I get older and my kids get older. Maybe I'm like, y'all know what the fuck y'all talking about. I know what the hell I'm talking about. I mean, maybe it's just a parent thing. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah. It's just something that was just weird to see in public because it's like this happens on a day to day in normal household, maybe to that not to that extreme, but
But
it's
it
like
is interesting you saying that people because I didn't really follow it, right? I seen it like I said, the blogs that be posting like that was just recently posting Fresh and Fit. They were really keyed in on this, but I wasn't really watching the videos. I just see people posting about it. But if you're saying a lot of people were on the mom's side, and the mom is very wealthy, so to kick out their daughter, you're very wealthy. You would assume that she doesn't have as much help as she had before. But it just made me think just now is like whenever it was the story came out that Dr. Dre wasn't helping his daughter, it was kind of like a different,
mhm.
feels a different vibe. It was like, well, he's a billionaire. He should be doing this. So it's just interesting to see that like those two sides of the coin as far as her $60 million, and it might not be a billion, but $60 million is $60 million. I don't care what y'all say. I've seen the Stormy Wellington person shit. I watched the interview with her she did on Earn Your Leisure's. Not their. She might have been on their podcast, but I didn't watch it on their podcast. They have like another show called like In the Vault. I watched a vlog with her. She got all the bags. She got all the car. Like everything you would think a wealthy woman would have, she got it. So she got the money. That was just interesting. I just thought about my head just now.
Her story is definitely amazing. It's a crazy story to see somebody come and get that rich that fast. Like,
I was watching the thing. She got conferences. Women are out there in droves. Like, she really doing her thing. You got to salute it. But when it comes to the kids, I don't know if maybe that was the best step to do. But I'm sure it's one of those things where it's like,
and it's all on live and stuff like that.
yeah,
like,
it got put out to the public, so now everybody's giving their opinion on it. But a month or two from now, they probably gonna be linked back. It's like they mama and daughter. It's like I'm not saying that mother and daughters never like break off and never speak again, but I would assume that eventually
the son don't even talk to her, the mom no more. And that was the thing. She was like, "Oh, you can't even call your people on Christmas. Like, y'all don't want to call your mama on Christmas." She was like, "My mom would slap the shit out y'all." But
damn.
Yeah, she very foul mouth, and I guess it's just something that happens in our community a lot. But it's like as a kid, you just gotta take it, and then they be wondering why motherfuckers be fucked up in the head when they grow up, be emotional, and they pass down that same type of anger into their kids. Like, and that cycle usually continues. Like it's really disgusting and careless to be honest. But like she said, her mama did it to her, so why can't she do it to them? Like it's just a constant cycle of this shit. Like it's nasty. Like to be on live, to be giving like statements like that, bro. That's just so toxic. And nobody can tell her nothing because she on top of the world in her eyes.
Yeah, especially like to your like I just couldn't like I would never get on live to talk about my wife. I would never get on live to talk about my kids when I could just talk to them directly. It's like, why would I do that? Because to me, when I do that, I'm trying to put on a spectacle for everybody else, right? And a lot of times when you put out that shit out on the social media, a lot of times problems that could have been solved behind closed doors now cannot be solved because it done got to a point where it's like, okay, I can't even fuck with it no more.
Yeah, no, I agree with Vicky. We definitely don't need to make excuses for it. I wish the behavior could be eradicated because there's so many different layers of that, like behavior that get passed down to women, and like I said, even going to that independent shit because some women been so unbearable, like just how she unbearable to kids, most likely she unbearable to men. So she go into that mindset of like I ain't gonna be with nobody because she knows she unbearable. Then she passed that on down to her kids, like, and never really told her why she think like that, like. And that should be toxic, bro. It really do happen like that. And people could be like, "Oh no, you crazy?" Like, nah, bro, I'm not.
Yeah, that's how people get. That's how they get down. I don't know. So
they pass a lot of toxic shit down to their kids.
Yeah, and then the kids bring that into their relationship. That's why, like, as a parent with children, I'm trying to be more mindful of the things that I am. Even just that they may inadvertently see that I don't think that they see. Like, just anything. Like, the way I treat their mama, the way, just anything. Because we talk about this all the time. Like, I never want to be caught, like, because everybody argues, right? It's not like, oh, you never argue. Like, I just don't want to make it a thing to where, like, my daughter sees, like, something happen. And I'm not talking about no abuse, but I'm just saying something happened. And it's like, oh, that's how relationships are supposed to be. Or, oh, that's how, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want them to see no shit like that and think like, oh, okay, when I get older, if a man does X, Y, Z, like, I'll just, like, it's how it is. And some girls see that. Like, some girls will see their mama get beat on and stay with the dude and be like, oh, that must be what love is. And we see people say that all the time. They're like, oh, I thought this is what love is. Or even guys, when guys be abusing women.
Even if you don't have to be the abuse part, just the constant arguing.
Yeah.
Bitch ass nigga, that like the deep arguments, like it don't have to be fights all the time. Like it's a lot of arguments that go in the black community. And whether it's personal or come from finances. There's a lot of reasons to get into arguments with people in our community. So it happens, and the kids usually see that, and then shit, they take on that same approach on how they argue or deal with people. Like it's very real.
Yeah.
Kids are like you said, sponges. So it's very like something you have to be careful for. But to me, it's like you want to be a good leader, and even if like things ever got like out of whack in the household, like you want to have it in a manner where like you do it in a way that's unseen or do it in a way that's the most productive because it's like you know what's at stake. And I think like how coaches are like when a team like your team could do something big or do something bad and they just be like even killed. And like if you're able to do it in your household, like I think that's like a good trait that your kids will be able to pick up. It's like I don't get too down or I don't get too happy. I just deal with the moment, and that'd be very important, especially with having like a father figure around because it's like um, it's a certain type of discipline, and I think that's what good men bring to their children. That even killed. Like, hey, don't get so down on yourself because hey, just look at this. Like it was a good example of that with a father was doing like gymnastics with his daughter, and like she like messed up a little bit and fell, and he just like kind of explained to her and like helped her like get through the emotions of it and like got right back to it. Like, so it's important, man. And obviously we wish we could have that more, but all we can do is be examples.
Yeah. That's it. Just do this. Whatever life you want to lead, just try to, when you create whatever you're trying to create, try to be whatever you wanted to have when you was a child. That's all you can really do. Like me, never knew my dad, so I don't want to be a guy that's like, I don't want to, and I don't even think I like have any trauma or shit for like, oh my god, where's my dad? Like, but still, like, you don't want to be like, okay, have a kid where it's like, oh, I saw these other people that got mamas and dads. Even though like pretty much all my friends, like, everybody, like none of us really have like these like people that was there all the time in the household. Every time we came home, hey mom, hey dad, like that dynamic. I want that. I want to have that for my
It's different, bro.
children.
It's different.
I didn't really get love from my mom and dad. Lived down the street and then called me for 15 years and counting. So much abuse from my mother. Damn, that's tough. Shit, daddy lived down the street. You ain't talked to him at 15. And
Yeah, so
that could be like that could like I don't want to like psychoanalyze your mama or nothing like that, but that could just be like trauma she was getting from men or whatever. She just couldn't inflict that hurt on them, so she just inflicted it on you. And that happens all the time as well. Like you said, when mamas have bad times at work, they can't say shit to the boss man. So what do? They come home and whatever the fuck they want to tell that boss man, they put that same onto
yeah,
their kids.
energy just get transferred.
Because they know, like, what the fuck, the kids can't do shit to me. I'm the boss. I'm this. I'm that. So they transfer their energy down to their children,
Yeah, it's
which is
a
a
part
fucked up
of
way to live your life.
it's honestly a part of Willie Lynch and dividing the home because they know the pressure that it puts on a single parent. Um, it knows the dysfunction that tends to happen in a single parent home, and especially when like the less resources, the worse shit can be. So like it's in their interest. Like, and then they want that to be recycled down to more kids than that raise more fucked up kids. But the good thing about us in our generation, we get like YouTube, we get like constant like TikTok therapy. Like therapy come from all different forms. We being real. Like obviously you got the yoga, the eating right, the meditation and stuff that we had like the past 5 years ago. But like the craze of that, but even more like little stuff that help you be like, oh, that's why I think like that. It's a
Yeah.
lot of different shit that come out every day, like that can just help you be more at ease or more um, lighthearted in life and shit like that after going through that. So um, I think we're breaking the cycle in this generation and some of the next ones. That's where you get like the Kevin Samuels and things like that because these things haven't been talked about for so long. And like to even talk about like, hey, my mom didn't really do a great job, like you could get condemned. No
Yeah.
matter if you was a young boy or a young girl saying it, like that's something that gets you slapped in the mouth type shit.
Yeah.
But
They
and
did
it's
the
not
best they
even
could.
and it's not
You're
like
ungrateful.
it's not even that we're trying to condemn them because like we can understand the curses or how like they were just kids raising kids. Like most people can usually understand that, but can we have a conversation about it? Usually you couldn't even have a conversation about it. But nowadays I think it's different. Like we starting to have those conversations with take a lot of our chest, and it relieves us to where we could do better in life. So what she said.
Yeah, after my dad's mistress maced my mom and I and punched us in the face, I was 13 and crawled to my dad crying and couldn't see. I didn't see him after that. Damn, I ain't gonna lie, that's fucked up. I ain't gonna lie.
That's some crazy shit.
So you're okay. So let me get this straight, right? Your dad's mistress maced you and your mom, and then she punched y'all, and your daddy was just like, "Fuck it." That's fucked up. Let me tell you something. If I was, and I would never be this adulterous. I don't see myself being an adulterous guy, but like, I could, not me, but I could see
That's
maybe a guy,
shit.
maybe a guy letting his, wife that he don't really fuck with no more get maced. He probably won't give a fuck, but like, your child, like, nah, we ain't
That's
doing
some spineless shit, dog.
Nah, we ain't doing that, bitch. Oh, your ass. Like, he was probably like, I didn't try to disrespect your mom, but he's probably like, the wife, I don't really give a fuck about her. But you definitely not gonna do that shit to my daughter. Hell no.
Yeah, no, that's some crazy shit. Like, I want to say something, but I don't want to be foul. Respectfully, I could see if you be like, niggas ain't shit, because that, like, nigga, if that's the example of you first getting them, like, a nigga supposed to protect and provide, and he did some shit like that, I could have a lot of distrust. I could see the distrust, bro. Like, that's some wild shit, dog. Like, nah, like, I wouldn't have no respect. Like,
yeah.
That's crazy, dog.
That's just wild. It's like, I'm not laughing because it's not funny, but it's like, what the fuck? Like, that story is like, what the fuck? I don't see how you could allow. I don't even see how, like, as a man, you allow it to even get to that level.
Yeah, like, they shouldn't even be in the same vicinity if they gonna get like that towards each other. Yeah. Like, and you should know that personally. Like, that's like code red. Get everywhere to get this shit split the fuck up. Never let this shit come
redirect. Take a left, take a right, run into work, clock in. I don't know what the hell you got to get the hell out of the vicinity.
Yeah, that's something.
But nah, it's fucked up.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. You see some crazy shit as a kid, but you gotta like kind of ignore it because it's like, well, what can I do? I've seen some things, but I ain't gonna talk about it.
But let me see what this is. Hello, my dad was a spoiled child that lived with both parents. Soccer and golf got him in the car. So he seemed like he had like a pretty good upbringing. Looks like golf, soccer, So I don't understand. I don't know. That's kind of weird. Like, you would think with that dynamic, you would think, but maybe. And it's like, I ain't trying to like psychoanalyze your life and your family and shit like that. I don't want to get into, like speculation and shit. Well, maybe your dad, like, I don't want to get into all that, but like, maybe, I don't know.
The situation I
was gonna say maybe like your dad was like through with your mama, and then you were just like this sounds so fucked up, but you were like. People was like an anchor to your mama. Like, if I got to deal with you, that means I still got to deal with the mama, and I ain't trying to deal with the mama. That's what a lot of guys do. Like, they might let it, but they truly don't want to deal with that mama, so they be like, fuck the kid. Like, I ain't trying to deal with the kids because then I'm going to have to deal with the mama. So they're like, just like, fuck the whole situation entirely, which is, like I said, some bitch ass shit. Like, if you got kids, you got to do what the fuck you got to do. Regardless if you cool with the mama or not. Like, you get the grandmas to exchange or do something. So
yeah, that definitely does happen, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's fucked up. So, what else we got on here? You want to talk some music? You want to talk some Roddy Richard? Oh, actually, next week we will be discussing. I wanted to put this note out there just so you can start listening to it when they come out as well. The Weeknd is dropping an album this week, and Gunna is dropping an album this week. So we're going to talk about that next week on New Music with Absolutely Unsure.
Yes, sir.
But anyways, yeah, that's how. I want you to see it. Everybody see it. Yeah, that's how it felt. My mom, but my mom tried to make it seem like we were sexually attached. Okay, I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know what that means. I don't really want to go any further into what that means, but it doesn't sound like a very, I don't want you to put all your business out through the chat. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'll just leave it at that. I'm done with my life. I will tell y'all when okay. Drop your book. We'll read your book. We'll check it out. You gotta put your book on the chat. It sounds like chapter, would you say that was when you're 13 years old? Chapter 13 will be very interesting to read. But you gotta drop the rest of it in the chat. But anyways, music. Roddy Ricch dropped his album at the end of the year, which, could be a good thing or a bad thing. But me personally, I ain't gonna lie to you. Once I got my Spotify Wrapped, as I saw, I listened to all this year. That was great. This is good. And holiday season was coming up, Thanksgiving. I really didn't care to listen to too much music around that time. So even like Rick Ross, I haven't really dived in too deep to Rick Ross's album that he dropped. Y'all know I fuck with Ross, but I just wasn't really into the music thing at the time. So I didn't listen to Roddy Ricch's album until after I saw that he was only going to sell 64,000 records. And it surprised me because I was like, I see, I got Roddy's name with these big name. He's with Lil Baby.
I told you, nigga.
He's with NBA Youngboy. He's with, Rod Wave, Polo G. Do you even know who Polo G is?
Yeah, I know, but I don't listen to him.
That's it. But Polo G did 140. Like I'm putting him with these names where I'm thinking he's gonna have a big week. And that's not to say. Let me preface it too with this. His numbers were low, but I don't necessarily think the album was bad. I don't think it has the hits like the last one did. The last one was amazing. It had like at least 6 like hit records on that album. Maybe not like number one, but they were still like you could see these being on Billboard. You could fuck with them like they're hit records, right? This album, I don't think it really has anything that's gonna give him that staying power. Because even with the last album, the reason it kind of carried on so long was like the box was number one for like 10 weeks in a row.
Yeah,
and then he had High Fashion, and then he had Peter with Meek Mill, and then he had the other one with Gunna. Like he had the shit with A Boogie. Like he had shit that was like just go drop it. Boom, boom, boom. We got all these records.
You don't think no song can get like a little pop?
They like I said, once like labels start moving money around and shit like that, something will probably go. Like I feel like they have too much probably money invested in Roddy Ricch for something, not to do something. But I feel like it is an alarming thing whenever for an artist as well. When you see an artist drop an album, like a highly anticipated album, and their next couple tweets
was it highly anticipated? I didn't even know it was coming out.
No, it's just like when you have a great album, the first one, it's like people are waiting on like, okay, what's the
sophomore? I think
sophomore?
he had a bad rollout.
Yeah, honestly, I'm sure. I think he was probably too big headed. He think I got the box number one. The shit I did with the baby, the Rockstar, even though it wasn't my record, that was number one. Like I'm Roddy Ricch.
Yeah, that was a whack rollout. I didn't even know an album dropped until I seen him on an interview talking about his album. So I mean, he probably should have been doing that right when the album dropped, dropping these interviews, dropping some singles or something like that. But to me, I mean, with his music and how he raps, like it wasn't too much different than his last album, but he definitely didn't have the hits. But he had some good songs for the music that he made. So it's like for the type of rapper that he is, like I think he was on par. It's hard to make them in that many hits again though.
Yeah, it's
like,
hard.
Even Bryson Tiller didn't do that after his first album. Like Bryson Tiller went crazy, but can you really just do that again? Drop another album with 5 straight hits? Like it wasn't. Like I mean, how can it be anticipated if nobody knew what was coming? Like I'm just being real.
I think people was talking. This is the thing. Like you said, I think it was quiet for the rollout, but people were like, okay, you got this album. You dropped this album 2019. What's that next album going to sound like? And especially when you get put in these categories with like I just think about, and to me, I feel like this whole narrative of Roddy Ricch and Meek Mill kind of falls on his face. When I thought about the whole like academics kind of like belittling Meek Mill, putting out like, you can't even get a Roddy Ricch feature and this and that. It's like, looking at this shit, do Roddy Ricch need Meek Mill or do Roddy Ricch need Meek Mill or do Meek Mill need Roddy Ricch? Because, I mean, Meek Mill at least got a built-in fan base. Like, he did 95, right? I don't think Roddy Ricch has a built-in fan base. I feel like he needs a hit record for shit to – like, he don't have a fan base like Youngboy. He don't got a fan base like Lil Baby. He don't have that like ravaging fan base. That just could be because like he dropped the album, it did good, and he just got comfortable. It's like that ain't gonna work, dog. Lil Baby still has tons of features out there. He's still rapping. He's still going. YoungBoy dropped like 2 projects a year.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, the box was number 1. That's great, but
what about
people don't see
that was on that album?
That was a good record. If that was to be a hit record, that'd be the record. But like, I just don't think people like. I think music, in today's day and age, it's your music, and especially with the young people, it's like your music, and do they just like you as a figure?
I think his approach to dropping the album was lazy. I don't think the actual content on the album was lazy.
Yeah, like, I think the album was good.
Made Man or Man Made, that was a good ass song.
Track list.
Hibachi with Kodak and
21.
That was a pretty good song. The song Lil Baby had a long ass intro, but it was
that was a long.
It's not one of my favorite, but I feel like that could be a radio song.
Thailand.
25 Million. I think that could be it's songs on here where I'm like,
I think he's good. I just don't think he's the artist that has that. Like he can't do the no promo shit. Like you got to do the promo. You got to do the things that you got to do. You ain't gonna just drop and people gonna be like, "Did you check out that new Roddy?" I don't think it's gonna happen unless there's a big hit on it. I don't think so.
It's only of like 2 artists that's really done that before, and they don't even do that like every album. Beyonce done it. I know Cole done it, but most, even Drake, heavily like promote his album. Like, bro, you have to like it's. Yeah. Even a select few that have done it don't do that. Like, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't recommend that approach. Like Beyonce,
and especially in this, different. When you come up in this new era of rappers, where it's a new rapper every week, there's a new guy all the time. I think you gotta put out at least shit. I don't know, maybe like if you ain't dropping your own music, you might gotta do at least 5 features that actually make some type of impact per year. It's like at least 4 or something.
Man, what's bad for what I was just thinking would be bad for him is like you won't be remembered in 21, and you so in the beginning of 2022, you're not gonna be remembered by the middle of the year. By the end of the year, we're gonna probably forget that. Because we should technically count this album for 2022. Like, we're gonna probably forget that it was even dropped this year. So it's kind of like I don't like even this timing. Like maybe you should have dropped on Christmas or after New Year's. Like there's many different things that he probably could have done different. Like.
That's why I said it was why I ain't finished whatever I was saying when we first started the conversation. But I was like, it raises the hairs on your head when you see a rapper like this who gets put these names, and as soon as the album drop, a week later they tweet, "I'm dropping Feed the Streets," like his mixtape series. "I'm dropping Feed the Streets 3." It's like, dude, you just dropped the album. Like that just Roddy Ricch.
That's crazy.
He's like, "Feed the Streets 3 coming soon." It's like because you know that album didn't. He's like, "Y'all playing with me or something, like y'all on my head," whatever he said. "Feed the Streets 3 coming soon."
Man, he about to flop.
Because he know, like, damn, y'all wouldn't really.
You got to see that's not the thing. You push this album more, even though it's already out. Fuck the first week, you can't get that back. But there's many different things you can do to get this album pushing. NBA about to come around. You could get some of them songs in the NBA playoffs or the NFL playoffs if you can. NBA more likely to do it than NFL, but get your song playing. Like you said, the industry start moving their money around. Like nigga, nah, you need to get more invested into this one.
Because whenever
trying to do something different.
Salute Flying Low. Because whenever like Late at Night is a good song. Late at Night.
Not one of my favorite.
I mean, but it's like a good. Well, yeah, it's not your favorite, but it's a good like one of them little records that you will hear on the radio. Like it's just one of those. Like, they'll throw it on repeat. They'll throw it in shuffle. They'll keep playing it. They'll keep playing it. Whatever. So,
I agree. That's what I said about his first album. Like you could just tell, like he not that type of talented rapper. He more chasing the hits, and you could hear because either he hit or he missed, especially on that last album. Like it was songs where it's like, oh, this whole hard, but then you get the other songs on. It's like, yeah, I can hear how he was trying to get a hit, and it was not there. And I think he made a better album. I don't think he necessarily made microwave music on this album, but that didn't lead to big hits either. So I think that may be the thing.
Yeah, because like I said, his first album to me is like a really good project. So I wouldn't say that.
Is it really good, or
I
you
wouldn't
like
say
there's
it's
some great
microwave.
songs on there for you?
It's good. I mean, if you got good songs, what that mean?
You could just have great songs on a project, like because I know
Like I'm
got
not
like
talking about like it's
six.
a cohesive. Like I'm not saying it's like a cohesive like Kendrick Lamar masterpiece, but like if an album got if you put out an album and it's got majority good songs, I'd just say it's a good album. Like The Box is good, Start With Me is good, Moonwalking, Big Step Repeater, Boom Boom Room, High Fashion, Backseat, Prayers to the Trap God, Tiptoe. Like that's like more than half the album.
Mm,
There's
I ain't
16
like
songs.
that many.
It's probably like
I ain't
10 out
like
of the
that many. I
six.
like about six of them when I went to go listen to it. So that's what I was saying. But I was like, it was six hard ass songs. So I do get why people say it was a decent to good album. But
Yeah.
I heard some microwave on it. Well, like I said, I don't think this last album was too microwave. But
Yeah. But I mean, like I said, in a room full of fickle fans and um, new rappers coming to the fold every day, you got to kind of cement yourself and don't get comfortable because, especially in the rap game, your spot is not solidified. It's not like back in the day where we had the Drakes, Kendricks, like we fuck with these people. They're able to last for years and years and years. Now these new generation, they like we fuck with you now, and like all right, we on to the next one in 3 months. Like
yeah, he
that's
one of
how it
them
is.
ones. I could like he said industry plants. To me, I could see him easily having some writers. Like and even the stuff he talk about, like I said, I never really bought. Like he talk about selling drugs a lot in his past, like or being like this big time drug dealer or whatever. Like I don't be buying that shit. Maybe because it's a nigga frame. Like he just
Yeah,
don't seem like one of them niggas. But I don't know.
and I would
Like
say he industry plant because before the anticipated album came out, like those feed the streets, like those songs. What the fuck was the record? Like he had two like big records before he even dropped like the box and shit like that. Let me see. I forgot the fuck they
you
called.
gotta remind
I've
me.
been balling out every season. For the bleachers.
I thought that was on his last album.
Nah. Let me see. My double cup outside of the freezer. Every season. Every season came out in 2018, right? So that song was great. And then he didn't drop the debut album until 2019.
But that's one song out of a whole project.
No, I'm saying if you got it, like you got you like I don't think he's Die Young was on there. That was a big record. So he got two big records because like he a new artist. He's like young, so like to
Mm.
have two big records before your debut album, that's good.
But yeah, he was getting pushed because he was on Nipsey shit too. I think he's just saying like he got more of a good look. Like somebody gave him a look way faster than maybe some other people. But I mean, once you do have some of them hits like that, I mean, people gonna
And you also got to
be
think if you
invested
can
to
get
do
it if
that.
you, in LA isn't like Atlanta. So like in the West Coast music world, when you get a guy who sounds like he can kind of be accepted by everybody, I feel like you kind of got to push that guy out there. Like he don't sound like an LA rapper to me, like a typical like YG. Like he don't sound like any of those people. So I feel like LA kind of got to like push a guy like that out into the forefront. They got to kind of like co-sign a guy like that. Like oh, okay, he got big records. People fucking with him. He reps LA, but he doesn't really sound like a nigga from LA. Let's
And I think another thing too is
put
like
him
kind of
out
like
there.
Roddy Rich, kind of like the Migos, how they make like kind of hit chasers. You don't really get personal music. I think he tried to get a little personal in his album, but I think that's another thing why it don't lead to him getting a lot of love or having a fan base because he more of a hit chaser than actually somebody you can really connect with. And obviously, little baby, I think he can tell stories or you can connect with him, whether it's through YouTube. Same with young boy, you can connect with him. I don't think people really connecting with Roddy Rich besides the hits. And then when we talk about hits, like that ain't the core rap that loves him. That's like more of the average fan that may like
Yeah,
that song. Not saying that a core person can't like that song. I'm just saying like those are the ones that push that song more because it's like we get I'm not so much you, but the average like hardcore rap fan, we be like, if it's a radio hit, we don't want to listen to it. You know what I mean?
So you telling me he made it out of the crowded LA with 2 songs? I mean, in this generation, don't take that much, especially when I can't even name. I can name a bunch of rappers out of Atlanta, like Gunna, Thug, Lil Baby, Young Nudy. Like I can name a bunch of like Atlanta rappers, LA rappers. That's like I think like this guy's up next. I can't really name somebody, so I wouldn't be surprised if a guy who has 2 big records across. And these, I'm not even saying they're not big like the Box, but they're like those big records where it's like. I don't know how to explain it.
And let's be real, it's niggas that get chances like the nigga Boogie. I think the blood dude because it's like 2 different Boogies. So I be trying to give him more description. Not a Boogie with the hoodie.
I know you're talking about. You're talking about the guy who he signed Eminem or some shit like that.
Yeah, like he got his chance. Like he had 2 albums where people was really kind of giving him a look. He had some singles that dropped that was pretty high. People from be getting their chance to shine.
Yeah.
Bro. So, like especially in the West Coast too. So I don't know. Like I ain't gonna just say here industry playing.
Because I be feeling like a lot of LA shit is kind of like it's just that regional sound. And Roddy Ricch to me isn't a region. Like he sounds like
even
he could be from
sound,
wherever.
Getting looks. YG got a look. Mustard got a look. A lot of niggas over there get looks, bro. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
But I'm saying as far as like because when I think of a LA crowd, my bad, I fucked my shit up. But when I think, can you hear me?
Yeah.
When I think of LA crowd, I think of like a lot of the West Coast guys sound like that. Like he doesn't, to me, sound like a lot of the West Coast guys. So for him to get a look from labels or whatever, like okay, he from LA, he could probably get support from LA, but he can also get support from everywhere else because he doesn't sound like just the typical LA rapper. That's why I would think labels would gravitate to a guy like that.
Yeah. And I mean, shit, he had the prototypical music, and he definitely was like he had the sound of being on a feature. Like he was a feature artist. Let's be real. Like getting him on a feature made your song sound different just because of his vocals. So that's another reason he got on kind of fast. It wasn't that he just was an amazing talent. His voice was a different type of sound that people also like. That's why he got loose with Nipsey and other people early.
Yeah. You said who put the money behind him? If you go to his on his Spotify, you know, on Spotify they put out like at the very bottom, like it'll say like my bad, where am I?
The camera,
it'll say like Atlantic Records Corporation. Like obviously his first album, he was signed through Atlantic, right? So you can say, okay, he got an industry. But when you go to Feed the Streets 2, which was a song that had the Die Young in every season.
When did Feed the Streets 2 come out?
2018. You don't see nobody down there. So obviously nobody was putting money behind him at this point. Maybe say like some street guys or whatever you want to like was funding him or whatever, but you know. You see, look, Johnny Wisconsin. I don't know. When I think of LA rappers, I think of Dumbfounded and King. Like I don't know who that is.
King Los, he said who?
No, King Lil G. I know who King Los is. I don't know who the hell King Lil G is.
So we're not saying this like rappers that's not good and maybe better than him, but you got to realize like when it comes to getting mainstream, you got to have them mainstream hits, and Roddy Ricch was able to produce that.
Yeah,
like
ain't no way someone's getting signed and pushed by Atlantic off talent alone. But I look at the music industry different. What do you mean nobody's getting pushed off talent alone? He had 2 big records already. I don't know what you mean by talent alone. Like if you got 2 big records. Like labels are signing these guys who like maybe get 100,000 views on YouTube now. So you don't think they're gonna sign a guy who has 2 big singles that people are fucking with? Like they're signing niggas who be getting 100,000 views on YouTube just to get them. Hopefully they catch them early. So I wouldn't be surprised if they, you know, sign somebody like Roddy Ricch and start to push him, especially if you think people like him. And then you get him in a room with DJ Mustard, you get him in a room with these top producers, and you get Please Excuse Me being antisocial. And then you get the Box going #1 for however many weeks. Then you get Rockstar going #1 for however many weeks. That's not his song. That's the Baby song, but he's featured on it. So, like, they loving that shit. He is talented, though. Come on. Like, the album's not bad. I was just surprised by the numbers. But I think the numbers are that way because I said he doesn't have a dedicated fan base. He's a guy. If he can put out a hit record, people will listen. People will fuck with it. But as a person, I don't think people like you said, people don't connect with him as a person. I feel like the Lil Babies, people fuck with him. The NBA Youngboys, they definitely fuck with him as a person. So, like, I'd be interested to see Roddy Ricch go on a tour and how that tour would look. Like, by himself. What kind of venues could he sell? What kind of I would just be interested to see.
Yeah, like so for me, you was I think you was trying to jump the gun on Roddy Rich. Not saying that because he does have a lot of potential, and I think that's what you was like trying to show me, and which I often see now. But I never felt that like he had that wave like you like that. I felt like he was trying to say he had, or whoever else was arguing in the conversation. And it's because like you said, he don't have that fan base. Like he had the hit songs, but like what else has like he really done to connect with the culture? Like Lil Baby got moments inside of the culture. Like NBA young boy, he don't really have to have moments, but he honestly he do because what you got, Floyd Mayweather daughter or like many different beefs that he been in. Like people connected to him on a different level. You can't say that about Roddy Rich, and I never really felt that. Like honestly, I just never felt it. So that's why I was kind of arguing about him being on the same level as Lil Baby because I was like, I just don't see it yet. But obviously, he had the potential to be up there. But I think Lil Baby got him as an overall just star.
Like at this point, I don't even think he's a bigger artist than like
The Baby.
a Moneybag Yo. Like I don't think he's bigger than Moneybag Yo. Like at this point.
Nah, Money and Yo got a
like Moneybag Yo. He got like you said, he got moments. He got the things. He got the songs, and then he got the girl that's tied in. People fuck with the girl, so they fuck with Moneybag Yo. So Roddy Rich don't have none of that. Roddy Rich, whenever Sweetie sat next to him, he was kind of like, he was on Big Boy. Like I don't know why she sat next to me. Yada yada yada. You might need that. You might need to get a look like like we said last week, drama, romance, comedy. What's gonna get people to gravitate towards you?
Yeah, or just being on YouTube more, get you a day in the life going, like little stuff like
vlog.
that. Be more social active, like you said. Y'all said he a little too comfortable. Maybe he already got the superstar mindset in his head where he ain't got to do certain stuff like that. But I mean, Drake didn't never really do interviews, but the nigga was working. The nigga was always on the feature. The nigga was always being heard on the radio. So
and you know what else I think gets these artists like comfortable and they get too ahead of themselves is the creation of festivals. I think they go out to festivals and they see these massive crowds and they rapping their songs. They feel like that's like a representation of like, damn, there's a lot of people that fuck with me. Like these people fuck with you, but like you can't do this on a nightly basis. Like this isn't. You're not going to Houston. You're not going to fuck you. You're not going to Tennessee and getting this type of crowd. You're not going to Wisconsin and getting this type of crowd. You're not going to these countries that you fly over when you go from LA to New York. You're not getting that. You maybe you go to Atlanta, you can sell out something. Maybe you obviously LA, you could probably sell something. I wouldn't say he couldn't sell nothing out, but not these very large venues of artists where I was projecting him to eventually be. Right, I'm saying he's going to be one of the top guys throughout the 2020s. But he might be gone in the next 2 years, not because he's not talented, just because the fans don't really care for him.
I think these artists don't be having a formula or like they just don't be hungry enough. Because when you think about Drake, when you think about Wayne, when you think about Jay-Z, when you think about Eminem, when you think about a lot of these great artists, bro, you heard them all the time when they were in their prime. Like you even go to like a 2 Chainz or something like that. Like, bro, when they was really cranking them out, bro, it was hard for you not to hear them on a feature, not to hear them like. I feel like a lot of rappers don't like get that like these days. Like they drop that album, and I think they feel like they're star presence and don't really have that same hunger. Because this nigga Drake still barely slowing down when it comes to like being hungry. Like I don't think Wayne never lost his hunger. He just kind of lost that hit touch in a sense. But there's plenty of.
And I also don't think a lot of these guys actually. Yeah, that was a little loud. I don't think a lot of these guys actually care about like being rappers, like rapping. Like I think the people like the Jay-Z's, the J. Cole's, I don't gotta go old. Like Eminem, Kendrick can't be dropping. That nigga need to drop. He's been taking for a very long time.
But like his prime, he was on features. He was on everything.
That's what I'm saying. Like they actually care about being rappers. These guys, they just might care more about. They look at rap like rap is a come up to get bread, and once I get to a certain point,
Uzi or a little Yachty, like those are kind of the best examples of that. Like
now Uzi he dropped like 2 albums like a year ago.
He dropped, but you could tell that he not like chasing that rap legacy like that. I'm trying to be the
No.
best rapper. He living his life. He having fun.
Yeah, he
Like
make music. He have fun. He hop
yeah,
in, hop out when he wants. Like,
yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Like it's a different era of rapper. Obviously he more take rap probably more serious, but I think he fits the example of what you're saying of like they use rappers like an element to make money and have a nice lifestyle, but trying to be the best rapper of all time, I don't really think that's in a like. I don't think they had that urge in a sense. Like some of the other rappers,
Money
they
in the
love
music, no
like
more stepping stone to build your brand. Yeah, that's pretty much what like
exactly.
music, rap music, or just music in general. Well, probably rap music because these other music you don't see people just getting into just because they want to. Like you don't see people just becoming pop stars that
I
really
mean,
can't
let's be
sing. Or
real. It be some ones that they'll have one album and then you don't hear from them again. They cash out and be gone. Like, let's be real. It be a few of them that's like that
no,
too.
yeah, like I said, but with rap, it feels like there's more of a like anybody could just hit a lick real quick. Anybody can have a certain large amount of fan base that we see that are notable. Like I don't think in pop
I
you
think
see
that's in
like
all. I think
a
that's in all
huge.
genres.
I don't think you see a huge tier list of like people that
I
are so
do.
visible. Like you have the Drakes, and then you have like the niggas at the bottom that still be putting out music. People they got a large fan base, but like I don't think you see that in other genres
You
as
have your
much as
one
you
hit
do in
wonders and
rap.
your one hit album in every
Yeah,
genre that kind of come in and don't like.
and I feel like other music genres are still more heavily gatekept than rap is. I feel like country they kind of insulate they shit where they don't just let anybody become a like. I feel like it's harder for you to become a country star than it is for you to become a rap star just putting out shit on YouTube. That's what I
I
feel like.
mean, they was just talking about some like Nickelback or something because they were more pop than some of these one of these groups. So I agree, but they still be able to make their money even though they may not be loved by the like the foundation of that genre in a sense. So I don't know. I think they have it. I just think it's not as prevalent for us because we don't see it. But yeah, they got those ones that they be like, this ain't real country, but they make it. They pop off for maybe an album or two, and then they fall off. Like it happens, bro.
But I don't think it's as rapid because like you got to think anybody who gets famous, what do they automatically do? They just try to rap. You see all these TikTokers, any of these influencers, they don't say, "Hey, I want to be I want to be."
Yeah, yeah. I see
I'm a
what you're saying.
rapper. They
I see
it's
what
like
you're saying.
it's an easier entry than any
Yeah, yeah,
other
yeah.
music
I see what
genre.
you're saying. Yeah, yeah. I definitely agree with that. Because it's with rap, it comes more than you don't even really have to have talent. It's just more of an image
It's like
thing.
a vibe, and so if you can make a little vibe song, it's kind of like yo, yeah, flying
You
low
know,
money
man,
bags.
have to.
Even Black Youngster not hot like that. Ye was able to get Amazon to sponsor his concert, sold tickets, and moved there. As these new rappers can never. Like you see, you just like super Kanye. We ain't gonna get this on Kanye shit. Like Kanye's a legend. He's
But
not
I
gonna be a conversation.
mean, yeah, they not in that they not in that genre of what Kanye making.
Yeah,
They not in that
no.
genre. Kanye try to make masterpieces. Like they just here to make some rap albums, display a little talent. They ain't in love with the.
Get some sponsorships
I
and
don't think they in love with music like Kanye is.
yeah. Like I don't think they like hear things and they're like, oh my god, that syncopation is like get me going, and
Yeah,
I gotta
I,
make. Like I
I
don't think they do that.
I think that's the difference. Like people will be like, "Oh yeah, I can rap. I like rap," and then you get them like these a lot of these new dudes like they like rapping because like they heard it is cool. They and they may be good at it, but they don't mean they in love with the culture. Like they may not even listen to Tupac. They might not listen to Big. We got those rappers that said that they're like, I ain't never listen
Yeah,
to them. But then you get rappers that's more in our era, like the Drakes, J. Cole, Kendrick. Like they can talk about who they were inspired by, why they love music so much, why they want to do it, and all these other different things. And I think that's why those type of rappers last longer,
yeah,
obviously, because they have like a different taste with music. But yeah, I don't think every rapper. I don't think that's a requirement to be in love with music to be a rapper.
yeah. That's a lower barrier of entry. Like you don't have to be. You can just fuck it. I'm gonna just do this. That's why like a lot of them their albums. It's like they here today, they gone tomorrow. Like nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, and I mean, I kind of commend Roddy Rich. He talked a little bit in the beginning of the intro. Wasn't much that I really connected with. He had another little spill towards the middle of the album. It wasn't much to connect with, and then his songs didn't leave you much to connect with either. So, like I said, these are they not like these other rappers that, like I said, we kind of grew up on. And I mean, even I think we still had those type of rappers, but they weren't known as the top ones. And I think that's where Roddy Ricch gonna end up falling. Like you got the little babies, you got NBA young boys, and then you made the babies and things like that. And then you got the Roddy Ricch, where it's just like he's there, but he's not considered one of the best of that generation in a sense.
Yeah.
Like, but he's not. He's always been like around.
Yeah.
Like we have that now. Like I'm trying to think of a rapper that's like obviously not considered the best, but 2 Chainz. No disrespect to him, make hits, constantly around, but not considered one of the best. And
Yeah.
I think that may be what Roddy Ricch kind of fall into.
Yeah, because it's not always the most like talented that gets to the top. You know, I think. I mean, I don't know. Let's say he's more talented than anybody. I don't even think he's necessarily more talented than any of the guys at the top. But I think it's a game you play as far as, especially like promotion. Like you can't get comfortable. I feel like any new rapper that comes out now, you cannot think that you have like this fan base gonna rock with you for like. Don't look at Drake. Don't look at J. Cole. Don't look like these guys who still sell 300, 400. Like you might not have it, especially if you're not constantly in their face every day, all day. Here's this, here's that,
Yeah,
putting out content. Like,
he's just not doing it right. Because even for me, like I'd be like, bro, I'll drop an album, get enough popularity off there, and just roller coaster and just make different things where I got some type of I'm known, like, cause that'd be enough. But he don't even use that. Like a little Yachty, he ain't nobody really care about him rapping, but he always being seen. He always
yeah,
doing things that's kind of known in the culture for the most part. And know he know how to be involved with shit to be seen.
yeah,
Like he don't even use that to his own like abilities. And I think it's many other rappers that's kind of like that where like they not in love with rap no more, but the fact that they are known in rap or was known for rapping, they're still able to do other things, whether they like guest appear on like a little comedy game show or some shit like or whatever, like but they can get seen. And I don't think he's just not moving like smart in the
they
sense.
know
Like
how to
even
use
if you
their
don't care about
personality.
yeah, like and I don't think he even doing it. Like even if you're not so in love with rap, because I like shit. If I could drop one album and that help make some money and get some wave, and I'm like able to be like, oh shit, like people know me, like nigga, hell yeah, I just keep gaming, keep making a YouTube channel and
Yeah,
build off that shit. Like you know what I mean? Like or the
like
podcast
Soldier
get
Boy.
bigger and shit
Soldier Boy
like
don't
that.
make the best music, but Soldier Boy is always
There's plenty of niggas like that.
in the conversation somehow,
Ray
some way. He's
J,
always around.
like niggas know how to be a part of culture without having to make great hits, and I don't think Roddy Ricch is in that.
Yeah,
I
but you
don't
know,
know.
he's still young. We'll see what happens the rest of this year.
Like entertaining, like being an entertainer is different, bro. Like I don't think like a lot of these young people really understand that, bro. Like with Jamie Foxx and like Drake or even Kendrick, like these niggas be so well rounded. These niggas make a 30-minute documentary where like, damn, this nigga kind of a good actor. Like J. Cole can make some shit like so it's like these niggas be like well like rounded entertainers. Like I don't think these dudes be like practicing that shit. Like even the Offset, them niggas can dance. Like them niggas can do
Yeah,
other shit. Like oh no, bro. I don't think
it's
these
like, and
niggas be
also
that
it's
talented.
like I said with Lil Baby, like Lil Baby don't be doing things, but like he got like memeable shit. People always posting like weird shit he
He be
do, and
with
like
James Harden. Like he be
like
with
he just
these
he's in the conversations are being made, whether they're jokes or not. People are always looking at you. They're always talking about you. They're always doing whatever about you. If Roddy written it, and like it's a shame because like the focus probably should be music, but if it ain't got nothing to do with a hit single, nobody's talking about Roddy
But I
Ricch.
mean, if you gonna be like Drake and not really being the put like Drake came out and being more public now, but in the beginning he wasn't doing too much media shit. Just was dropping hit after hit after hit. And you gonna do that or you gotta pick one. Like, but you ain't gonna just think society or the culture just gonna keep you in their mind and you ain't been doing nothing. Like, nah, bro, that ain't how life works. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Like, no matter how great Lauren Hill is, like she out the picture. Like it just is what it is, bro. That's just what happens, bro.
Lil
Even
Baby said,
Kodak,
"Why
like
step up
Kodak
to
is
it?"
more relevant than Roddy Ricch
Yeah,
by far, by far.
and that Super Gremlin song is hard. That Super Gremlin song is hard. But I
I
still,
fuck with
hey, cause
Kodak
I'm a
though.
gremlin. What happened?
I fuck with Kodak. Well, some of his songs, I mean, some of his work, not him as a person, but his music, he be doing some wild shit. But
Yeah, definitely. But I ain't gonna lie, that Roddy Rich segment lasts us about 30 minutes, so we got to an hour and 30 minutes. We all
What would
good.
you judge it? What would you judge that album?
I give it a I've only listened like maybe 2 times. I probably would change my number rating if I listen to it more. But off the first listen, just the music, this how it sounds. I give it a 6. Just off the sound, like it sounds good. I don't think it has any long lasting hits, but I think it still sounds good.
I was gonna give it a 6. I was like, I think I will rank J. Cole like a 7.
I think the off season, like after this to it, I think it's like an 8. I think it's about an 8, maybe even a 9. Like it's really good. It's like after I
put CLB like at an 8 or a 9. I wouldn't give CLB a 10. Like
yeah,
I don't know.
I give Don to like a 3. If I go crazy,
you being nice, I would have gave it less than that.
Probably like a 1.5, maybe.
36 songs.
5 foreign carried.
Everybody carried but Kanye.
The shit that sound like Hurricane on his new album. If the Weeknd got some shit on his album that sound like Hurricane, Jesus Christ, that shit gonna be amazing. Look, shit, it's time for me to leave. But no, the Weeknd got some shit. I'm excited. I think it's kind of like, I don't know if it's bold because like the year is so long that a lot of these guys that drop in January, you kind of get forgot about by the end of the year. So it's like the Weeknd's a big art. The Weeknd typically he'll have 2 singles that are gonna go stupid crazy that'll probably last him the entire year. But for a rapper like Gunna to drop like the same time as the Weeknd in the very first week of the year, your album, who knows if it's going to last till the summertime? Who knows if it's going to last? You know what I'm saying? You don't really know. But I feel like Gunna's getting a lot of press. Like you can tell people's albums coming out, like they start getting posted more about blog. Like now we said drama and relationships. He's dating, though they I don't know if he's dating her, but they had a video of them coming out of the Lakers game, I guess either last night or tonight, holding hands. What's the name? I don't know if you know who Chloe Bailey is. She's like,
I know she.
Her and her sister was signed with Beyonce. I think now they're separate. Like not. Okay. But like I said, that's a girl who gets posted on all the blogs. You're tied to her. Girls like her, so then they'll probably like you. You know, it's good for business.
And bro, you gotta be real. Like women are one of the biggest. You can't hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Women are like the biggest demographic to buying stuff. So, bro, once you get women to like you as a product, you're more marketable in general to the industry.
Yeah, so that's what Joe Budden told. That's what Joe Budden told Fresh and Fit. He said, "You know that you need black women to either hate you or love you to make it." I like that's real.
I mean, that's not the only way. There's other ways to make it, but let's be real. Like that is a good way to make it in this society.
Yeah. All right, so Gunna got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. See, I'll be like the new artists. I don't know if I'll be wanting 20 songs from y'all niggas. Not 20. I get it. Streaming, the more songs, the more probably streams.
Focus on making good projects like that, bro.
I don't be wanting 20, but he got some good features, right? He got a song called Pushin' P with Future and Young Thug. He had a song called Mop with Young Thug, and I'm just naming the features. He got other songs on there as well, but I'm just naming the features. He got a song called Thought I Was Playing, featured 21 Savage.
It's already out?
No. He dropped the track list. He got a song with Drake called Pussy Power. How You Did That featuring Kodak. You and Me featuring Chloe. Like, he dating Chloe Bailey. He got Chloe Bailey on the album. He got a song with Lil Baby, another song with Future, a song with G Herbo, a song with Michi.
What type of rapper is Gunna? Like a Future or like?
Gunna's like I don't know how to explain it. It's like a
Young Thug.
It's like those. It's like that vibe. Like I don't even know how to explain like him as a rapper.
I got you. Because when you listen to these rappers, you gotta like categorize what you listen
to. It's like a. That song hard. Drip Too Hard is crazy. But I'm interested to see. He's probably a guy who he's probably like maybe a, I would say he's in this era French Montana, but I don't think there's gonna be too many songs where he does by himself that people are gonna overwhelmingly fuck with. It's probably gonna be a song where he's doing a nice little hook and he's got a good rapper on it. I feel like that's gonna be more of his hits that are gonna be on his album. But I'm interested to see. I bet the song with Drake was ass and it sounds gay. I mean, we gonna see. Drake's first release. Drake's first release of the year, man, 2022. Like I said, Drake is always putting himself in a goddamn conversation. So, The Weeknd's album. Let me see. The Weeknd, he posted something. My bad. Let me see. He posted like features for his album. I think it said like Wayne. He got Lil Wayne. He got Tyler the Creator. He's got production by Quincy Jones. Jim Carrey is somehow involved in the album. I don't know how, but
you got a Jim Carrey skit.
You got something with Jim Carrey on there. And I ain't gonna lie, I think the Weeknd's album is gonna be pretty good. I'm pretty excited about that. Excited for music to start popping up. I really want to get more into talking about music because we used to be heavy on talking about albums. Every week we like, okay, we got three albums. We're gonna talk about them. I think we'll get back to that as well because that's like always good, like healthy conversation. It's kind of more like get you out of all that bullshit. COVID, fuck all that bullshit. Get you, it gets you centered. And also it'll prepare us for our end of the year list and our end of the year awards.
Yeah, and I feel like my album of the year that I still like the top 3 was a little ass because like when you really look at how much music dropped, I was a little like I could do better.
You want to listen to a lot of shit.
I want to do better and listen to more people. I can do that.
Yeah, but I think that's all we got, man. Hour 41 minutes. I ain't gonna lie. When we was at 47 minutes and we was almost done, I didn't even think we was gonna make it to an hour and 40. But like I said, music can lead you into a plethora of conversations.
I don't know why you thought that. Well, we can go anytime.
I thought I was just checking shit. I was like, okay, Antonio Brown did that. Fresh and Fit. Oh, that was only 30 minutes. Okay, did that. Stormy Wellington did that. And then once we got to Roddy, we start rocking. So appreciate everybody for watching. Appreciate you for listening on SoundCloud, Spotify, and iTunes. Like I said, everybody who listens, salute to you on YouTube and things like that. But salute to the OG listeners over there on the audio because that's really what made us. That's what, like I did our numbers last year. We weren't even we was consistent, but we wasn't super. 20,000 listens on audio. Just in the past 7 days, we've already had 500 people listen to the audio versions. And we'd appreciate it if now Spotify does ratings. So if you listen to us on Spotify, give it a 5-star on Spotify as well. I really want to get into that audio space because I feel like when it comes to podcasts, people, they fuck with the YouTube, but they more respect them audio. Like they respect when you like one of the top audio motherfuckers when it comes to podcasts. So appreciate y'all fucking with us in the audio version as well. But if you want to see us, you want to kick it, we go live every either Wednesday or Saturday.
We got the OGs on the SoundCloud, you know what I'm talking about, the iTunes. Now we getting the OGs on the YouTube. It's fun.
Yep. So on this channel, I'll be back tomorrow with D-Friend Daily. I have a bunch of things to talk about. We got I'm going to promote my shit. We got Young Dolph updates. We got all kinds of things we need to talk about tomorrow on the show. Updates? They put out a warrant for his killer, which is interesting. And people are finding pictures that the killer used to rep PRE, which is his thing, like Paper Route Entertainment. The killer was seen with him at the club, so
it's always one in your circle.
It seemed like and the killer, also alleged killer, was arrested in 2017 when he was a teenager because a fight broke out in the bowling alley. He ran out to his car. He ran back to the door of the bowling alley and started shooting. And he grazed 4 people. Huh?
Why the fuck was he not in jail?
Bro, I see the story. I don't know how you're going to feel, but I was kind of like, I don't want to say triggered, but I was like, I hate dumb shit. And then we'll get up out of here. So today, Tariq Nasheed posted, NYPD is going to continue to do these racist raids now they have a black mayor to hide behind their racism, right? And he posted a link for the video. So I went to the video and said, what's he talking about, right? So the police did a raid on 17 individuals. They're teenagers. They're black. Obviously, Tariq Nasheed's talking about it. They were just detailing all the evidence they had on these guys, the video footage of them. 2 of the guys did what they consider a mass shooting 8 people outside of an apartment complex. Another guy shot in front of a college and hit a stray bullet and killed a college person. Another guy ran to a bodega and killed a college student. But it's like, do you want these guys, do you not want them to arrest them? Do you want them to be free? I don't understand. I get it, like, the system has been fucked up before, but that doesn't mean when we actually catch people who are committing crimes, terrorize the community, we should I don't understand. I didn't get it.
Patrice O'Neal said it best. He was debating somebody on one of the news channels. He was like, "It's people like you that like you make us look hypocritical and contradictory because you just gotta like just be all about black people none of the time, like all of the time." And he say they really making fun of you. You don't even realize it. It's like it's people like you that make them think that black people can't really think 3-dimensionally, essentially. So like that's stupid. I mean, I mean, if I don't think no one really like in importance pays Tariq Nasheed any mind, but if he did have some like huge platform, you could easily see how it's like, bro.
I feel like a lot of people get caught to that caricature of themselves. So it's like they have to it's like, bro, that doesn't make any sense. Like if these kids are actually, like, I get it, they're teenagers, they're black. NYPD has had a pad. Like I get it. People are easily like I can easily lead people down a road. And I can just throw out breadcrumbs of things that have happened, but don't really have nothing to do with this essential story. And people will follow me down that road and come to the same conclusion I want them to come to. That, this is a racist raid where we just locked up 17 innocent. Like, bro.
Because most likely they're just going to read the headlines. So he can push it and still like, oh, look at him pushing this agenda. And then nobody actually went into the details because, like, why would they? No one ever does. So...
That's why D-Friend Daily is so important, because I go into the fucking weeds and I talk about the real shit that's going on. A lot of shit, man. Like today I talked about a couple of things that were going on in the world. Like I got a segment. Like I talk about, I'm not really trying to promote my show here, but I'm just talking to my friend. Like I'm trying to create segments, right? Because I want to like kind of structure it a little bit more. Like I want to be able to like, when you listen and you know, like, okay, this part is going to be like the pop culture, the music, and then like I got a segment now. It's like just, and I got an overlay for it, but I ain't put the overlay on there yet. It's like news you should know. Like that, we got some real shit right here. Like I talked about how we was talking about China before, how they're taking over Africa. Now China is taking over South America. They're moving in. I talked about today how the teachers union in Chicago shut down the school at 11 p.m. the night before school because out of 350,000 kids in Chicago, 400 of them and staff tested positive for COVID. I was like, that's some wild, that's some crazy shit. But, tune to the show. We talk about a lot of shit.
Yeah, it's a few examples of people that do that pretty good. David Banner, his podcast, I don't know if he still do it, but they used to do pretty good at like having sound effects and all different things when jumping into the intro. There's a dude named O'Shea. He talks about like
Duke
Black,
Jackson or something like that.
He'll have like celebrity gossip, or he'll have whatever he like. It's just one video, but he'll go into it and have his own little thing. So if you could do that in one video, that should be live.
I feel like it's like the celebrity shit and all that shit. Like I like to talk about if it's like as a good like conversation around that. I always, like I wasn't even gonna talk about the Asian thing, and then like these other things popped up into it, so I talk about shit like that. But I feel like I really want to talk about shit that really like, affects people's lives, or like things I see people not talking about that I feel like people should be talking about. That's what D-Friend Daily is really about. So anyways, dude need to be under the prison. LOL, make it make sense. Flying Low says, when Trump said we need to watch China, the Dems said we don't. Who looking crazy now? I mean, hey. But, like I said, we ended the show. That's all we got. Y'all go to bed. Y'all have a great night. Y'all tune into my boy, Emerald Gamer and Reactions.
Yes,
fuck with him over there. He got his channel. Let's get my dog to 100 subscribers over there. When you get 100
real ones.
Is 100 subscribers you can start getting paid, or is it 1,000?
I don't know.
I don't remember. Fuck it. Let's give him to 100. Let's give him to 1,000. Let's give him to 1,000,000. Let's give him to 1 billion. Fuck with my boy Bryce over there. If you're on here already, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow me as well. SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes. Search up Absolute Insure Podcast. We all there for you this year. Gonna be a great year. We'll see you guys in the next episode. It's your boy D-Friend.
Boy D Neely.
Peace.